Did you find any bargains in the recent Black Friday sales? I've managed to find some plant bargains that I'll be unboxing on the video today, and I've been quite surprised to receive two boxes, one just to the right of me and then this rather taller box here. As you can see, it's quite a tall box, so I'm intrigued to see what's inside. Now, most of these plants I don't actually know what they are, as they were a rare mystery plant box and a standard houseplant mystery box. So we'll open the box and see what's inside. Hopefully there are some good varieties, but also there is one wishlist plant in here that I've wanted for a while and then managed to find it on sale, so I'm excited to get that out of the box too. If you have found any plant bargains yourself, let me know what they were in the comments below, but stay tuned and I'll unbox both of these and we'll see what plants are inside. So this first plant is an Aglaonema. This one is an Aglaonema Orange Flame, and I'm guessing it gets its name from these pink to orange stems that it's got that sort of carry on through the main vein of the leaf. And this has got a missing leaf in the middle that I can see, and these new leaves, I'm not sure if they start that way normally, very thin and then open out. They do look like they are thinner leaves than normal, or if they're a little bit stunted, I'm not sure, so we'll see how these develop, but they do, as I said, look like thinner leaves anyway. And they've got this wonderful camouflage green type patterning on as well, and there is some new growth down here that I can see in several points around where it's lost its leaf, where potentially there could be new stems and leaves coming off as well. So pleased with this one, as this one is a new plant to the collection, a new variety to the collection. And this next one's a little bit smaller and also a bit more worse for wear. So this one is a Hoya obovata variegata. As you can see, it's only got one leaf left with that wonderful dark green and variegation through the middle. It did of course have others on the stem, which I can see where they've fallen off, but that's probably why it was in the rescue box. So this one is a new variety to the collection, but I will need to do a little bit of research just to see how best to care for these, as I'm not that familiar with Hoyas. So if you've got any tips on how to look after this Hoya, then let me know in the comments below. And this next one is a very full plant, although it's quite untidy, as you can see. So this one is a Rhaphidophora tetrasperma, and this one has got loads of leaves coming off it, and they all seem to be sort of growing into each other, getting a bit tangled up, maybe even a little bit wilted, so I'll see if it needs a water in a second. Although this does have a really strong and quite impressive stem on it, with lots of potential to either grow it up a moss pole or possibly even propagate it, as there's lots of leaf nodes, potentially new leaves or stems, and what look like the start of aerial roots, or what will help it grab onto a moss pole. And that looks like quite a thick stem for the size of the plant, so maybe this was grown from a propagation and it's not really a young plant, it's a mature sort of section, a top section possibly. What do you think? Either way, I'm happy with this. It's not new necessarily to the collection, as I've got one just behind me just here and another one at the back of the room as well. So this one I will hopefully tidy up and get it some support, and then we'll see how this one develops going forwards. And this next one is why the box must have been so large, as it was trying to contain this very tall alocasia, and this one has those wonderful, very distinctive alocasia looking leaves, the tricorn shape there, and very nice colour to it as well. So it's an incredibly dark green, almost sort of a blackish colour on the back, and the stems also, if you can see that on the camera, are black as they go to the base of the plant. So this is the Alocasia sandriana nobilis. So this one is new to the collection, and it's definitely a very eye-catching variety. So I'm going to have to find somewhere for this where there is space for it, and I think I've got a place downstairs where it will go. This one doesn't look like there's anything really wrong with it. There's a few marks maybe on the leaves, but it doesn't look like it's missing anything, and the base of the plant looks okay too. So I'm very happy with this, although I do know that once these leaves, if and when they start to fall, that can look a little bit untidy, but I'll keep an eye on it and keep looking after it, and then hopefully we'll get more of these wonderful leaves. And now we're back to a smaller plant with this next one, and a smaller alocasia compared to the last one. So this one is an Alocasia Chienii and Toro Velvet. This one, as the name suggests, feels like velvet. The leaves are very strange. They've got a furry texture to them and almost feel very, very delicate, this plant. So this one, you can see, maybe if the camera's picking it up, is a little bit worse for wear on the edges of this large leaf. It's curled or a little bit dried out, possibly from lack of humidity, but it has got a new leaf on the way. Although, as I said, this one does feel a bit more delicate, so possibly does need higher humidity and maybe a bit more care to bring it back to full health and keep it thriving. And sticking with smaller plants, this next one is a Philodendron mamei or mamei, and as you can see, this one's got lots of leaves for such a small plant. It's only in a small pot as well. This one has got really decent leaves on it as well. It looks very healthy, apart from maybe the newer leaves which look like they've struggled a little bit with unfurling. So this one looks like it's got stuck a little bit, and this one has also got a little bit of a sort of stuck edge there as well. But generally it looks okay. Maybe it just needs potting up and a little bit of care to bring it back to its full health. So before I get the wishlist plant, I always like to look at the value of plants that I get in mystery boxes and rescue boxes, just to see if they were value for money. So while in rescue boxes they do often require a bit of extra care and attention to bring them to full health, they are usually a great way to add new varieties into the collection for a lot less than what I would pay if I were buying them at full price, buying the plants individually. So there is a real mix between the quality or health of the plants as well. So this one was one of them, and this one really had hardly anything wrong with it, whereas some of them, as you saw, were a little bit worse for wear and might need a bit of extra attention. But as a plant hobbyist, that's not really something that bothers me, and I'm quite happy to provide that to help the plants thrive. So with the value of the plants, I've gone onto the retailer's website and looked at the directly comparable plants, the same size in the same size pot, added up those values just to see what it would have cost me had I bought those varieties individually rather than in the rescue boxes. So they came to a total of £151.94. Now for the price of the boxes that I paid, I got a houseplant box for £15 and a rare plant box for £35, plus I had a 10% discount, so £45 in total for those 6 plants that I've shown you so far, with a value of £151.94 were I to buy them individually. So I think that's a really good value for money, 3 times as much as what I've paid for them. I just need to make sure that I look after them now and keep them healthy so that they stay in the collection and actually realise that value for money. And here is the wishlist plant. So this one has been on my wish list for what feels like a very long time, possibly a couple of years, and this is one that I've been looking out for at plant fairs and looking at it online, but it's never quite been the right price for me to buy it. So when I saw it on the Black Friday sale and it was the lowest price I think I've seen it at, I thought now was the time to get it before the year is out and tick it off the wish list. So this one is the Philodendron Florida Bronze, and as you can see, the wonderful colour on the leaves, especially this new one, it really does have that very light bronze colour across the leaf before it starts to become this sort of darker green to bronze colour, and the nice pink to red stems. This one's a very full plant as well. This is a lot bigger than I was expecting, with lots of leaves off that central stem there and lots of little new ones on the way too. Really wonderful colours with this. I'm incredibly pleased that this is now added to the collection. So I only paid, I think, $16.99 for this. So definitely no more than 20, but I think it was $16.99. So I'm really pleased with the price I've paid for it, for the size and fullness of the plant. And now again, I just can't wait for these leaves to get bigger as the plant matures and we get lots more of that wonderful colour. So out of those rescue plants, which one was your favourite, and do you think they were value for money? I think this alocasia is my favourite as it's quite showy and I've already got a place for it in mind downstairs. Although I am pleased with all of the plants received, as many of them were new varieties to the collection. If you have found this video interesting, then you might like the other unboxing videos on the channel, and I'll link one at the end for you. And also consider subscribing, as I'll have new plant videos every couple of weeks, so subscribe to be notified when they are live. If you've got any questions, then put them in the comments below and I'll respond to everyone. And as always, thank you for watching Grow Your Wellbeing.